Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rach. I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not a professional, but everyone keeps asking me how I do my makeup, so I decided to film a special video for you today. If you do enjoy what I do, please put a like, subscribe, and I might even make more. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Now, I don't use anything high-end. I only own two high-end products, which is Too Faced Natural Eyes. That was a gift from my sister-in-law, niece and family, and then just the metallic eyeliners from my mum. Everything I use is just from Coles and Kmart. I just use low-end, basic, drugstore makeup. So I'm going to create a look for you guys today to kind of match my hair, and let's get to it. So my lips are a little bit dry because living in the Gold Coast, it's a little bit drying. So I'm just going to use this Kiwi Seed Lip Exfoliator. And it was like a couple bucks from Kmart. It's like a new range. I'm just going to put some of that on to get rid of my dry lips. And then we'll start off on the base. This is actually the second time I'm filming this video today. My husband, who is Project 87, and that's Project with a 0, not an O. You can check him out. He does a lot of cooking videos. He seems to have a huge interest in raw, so I'll link him down below and you can check it out. Alright, so I've already prepped my face and moisturised, so now we're going to start off with foundation. I like to mix two because I have red cheeks and like a ruddy complexion, so I just mix in some Rimmel Stay Matte in soft beige, and then just the Dewy and Smooth 230 Natural Buff Maybelline. After I put on both the foundations, I just get one of these random little brushes and I just go to town covering everything that needs covering. So I like to use the both because the dewy one leaves like a really soft finish, whereas the matte one, obviously gives me the full coverage. On their own, they're not ideal, but together they're pretty good. I find with using these two foundations, I haven't needed to use concealer anymore, but that is an option. So when I used to use concealer, I used to put it on my eyes, my chin, and like my T-zone area. I won't do a concealer in this today, but if you do want to see that kind of thing, I'm happy to show. And just with your hairline, just to hold it back as best you can to avoid foundation, especially if you have like blonde or like pastel kind of colours. Blended in most of the foundation. Now what you need to do is to make sure you don't get like a harsh line around your jawline, because that's what a lot of people do, and like around their ear area. You can put foundation on your ear if you have a fake tan on or something. I don't at the moment, but just make sure you like blend it down under here and down your neck, just to make sure it all smoothly blends in so you don't get any harsh lines. I then go in with the OXX or Ox Cosmetics finishing powder. Just get it from Kmart. It's only a couple bucks. And a lot of people do baking and stuff under their eyes, but I just use this because it does the job. I just get a brush like that. You just pick up like that kind of amount, and you just press it right into those creases. It's always important to fill in these lines, because if you don't fill in the creases, the foundation or concealer will go straight into it and you'll look about 10 years older. Not pretty. Not a pretty look. And because I'm a little bit older, I have a few more areas to fill in. You then can go in with some pressed powder, but I just go in with CoverGirl True Blend Mineral Loose Powder because I like a little bit more full coverage, especially because I have a ruddy complexion. And also it has a little bit of shimmer, which gives you a nice little glow, which is lovely. So I'm going to put some of that on as well. And with that, I just use these. And by the way, I don't clean my brushes much, so sorry, Suz. Suz but not Suz. Who's got time for that? Alright, so then I just go over my face slightly, but just don't do too much because you will get cake face and it ain't pretty. Especially if you have very textured skin. I have my nose pierced on both sides. I like to take them out when I do my foundation because there's nothing worse than caked on nose studs, and then sometimes you just get that real awkward line between your foundation and your nose studs, You know, all personal preference, of course. Right, now I feel a bit more normal again. Okay, so now we have filled in our face with the powder. Base is done. I'm going to move on to bronzing and contouring. I use the same product for both because I'm not fancy. So I'm just using BYS Island Bronzer. I know all you makeup artist friends of mine out there and strangers would be like, oh, why are you doing it like that? But you know, I just use a small little brush like this. And I like to start off. Now when I do it, I start off from the top. I've got to remember how to position my hands so that I don't block out what you see. And yeah, I like to start off thick up here and then blend it down. And then I like to leave the bottom line a little bit more harsh. I then just feather out lightly the top bit. I then like to contour my nose a little bit, just really lightly. Don't put too much on because that will just look too much. And then I like to do the jawline because, you know, us chubsters, we like to have a bit of a jawline come back. We could do. And then, so when you do it, you just do your line and then you just make sure you blend it right out. Otherwise you will get a harsh line. And if you find that you've gone too far up here, you just go back with your brush from earlier when you did your under eyes, and you just kind of blend a line under here and then just soften that out. And I find that that does the trick. By the way, I'm just stopping now just to talk about something, the elephant in the room. If you do notice that I've got some hair sticking up or whatever, I actually have a side shave that I'm growing out. This is the second time I've grown out the side shave, and every time I get it all grown out I'm like, oh, I feel like a side shave again, and then you regret it and then you want to grow it out. Yeah, so if you see any bits, it's because I'm like growing it out and I'm trying to grow it over. I do apologise for how I look right now, but yeah, you just gotta roll with it. Alright, moving on to blush. I'm going in with another product from Ox Cosmetics. Cheap again, I can't remember how much, I think $5 or so. And I just got this palette like this, and I'm just going to go in with this blush today, one of my favourites. My brush. Same thing with, you know, doing foundation and powder. You just want to block your hair. Unless of course you've got hair that colour, as I do sometimes, because I have been doing fashion colours for over a year now. Very addictive. I can't seem to find the one colour that I just is my go-to. So yeah, I've just been changing a lot, and so me and my husband are quite known for our regular hair colour changes. I'm going to move on to highlighter. I'm going to be going in with the same palette. I'm going to be using my broken brush because I don't have anything good. I might invest in some if I go well on this. So I'm just going to go in from the same palette, and I'm just going to go in with this yellow tone, gold tone kind of one. So there's two there, but I'm going to go in with this one. And I like to start off on the end of my nose. And look at that. You can see that, guys? Ooh, yeah. And then I just blend it up a little bit. See how you get that glow? And then I like to go on my chin. Yeah, I reckon it really pulls a look together. Upper lip, Cupid's bow. And then on top of cheekbones. Sometimes I go overdrive on this and I walk around going, wow, what a clown. But you know, you just gotta roll with it. Wouldn't be me without it. I'm always known as my colourful looks. I thought about a nickname that I had myself the other day and I can't even remember what it is now. Walking rainbow, clowning, lollipop, fairy flossy thingy. I don't even remember what it was called now, but it was really funny at the time. I like to seem to make my own jokes and laugh at them. Now we're going to move on to eyebrows, so we've got you nice and close now. So I just use a really cheap eyebrow pencil from a place called Daiso, which is a Japanese store. I think it's Japanese, isn't it? Yeah, Japanese store in Robina. And everything's pretty much $2.80 there. Alright, so I like to use a pencil with a twisty top. I'm just going to brush out my brows. I like to bring them in a little bit more. So I like to start a line off here. Then I like to try and match the other side. And girls and guys, just remember when you're doing your eyebrows, they are sisters, not twins. So you just try and get them to match as much as you can. And you just follow the line of your natural brow that you've got. And I like to extend mine down a little bit. And then just do the same on the other eye. I like to kind of give my eyes like a feathery, natural kind of look. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And I didn't really learn this from makeup tutorials. I actually learned it from watching, I think it's called microblading, when people get their eyebrows tattooed on. And I just kind of like copied it from that. So I just start off here and I just feather them up. And then once I'm happy with that, I then go to fill in, and you just do lots of light strokes, just to kind of keep it somewhat natural. And then you can, make sure you don't go too thick or too heavy with it. But really with eyebrows, it's personal preference. And then you go ahead with a highlighter. I'm going to use my Peach palette, which is also another BYS brand. And I'm just going to go in with this shade here. It's well loved. And I'm just going to fill that in underneath my eyebrows. You can also use like a matte light shade as well, but I like a little bit of shimmer. Alright, now we're going to get into our eyeshadows. I'm going to be using yet again another little XXO palette. And I'm just going to put in the crease this orange shade. I'm just going to go into the crease with that shade. Now I have hooded lids, so I like to go quite high up. And look at that, that was just a light dusting into the palette, and look how pigmented that is for just a $2 one. Pretty good. So what I like to do is I like to keep it heavy down the bottom and kind of lighter at the top. So I kind of angle my brush like this. And I put majority of the product down here, but then feather it out. You don't want to go too high up though, that it's going to go and take away all that highlight, but you kind of do want to blend it into that. And then just like when you're bringing it out, just to blend it right out towards like the ends of that brow area. And then you just keep blending it until you're happy with how, that's looking for your own personal preference. Everything, always keep it your own personal preference. No one is better than anyone. You just do what makes you happy. This is what makes me happy. And so just make sure when you do your makeup, you're doing it for yourself. And after we've filled in our creases, we're then going to go back into that palette and we're going to use this little purple shade and put it on the outer corner of the eye. And then once I'm happy with it, I then blend it out. And you can use any colour you want here, and if you ever want to add like depth to that purple, you just put a little bit of black in the middle. And then it's always about the blending. Blending it out. Don't worry about too much around the edges, because you can go back in with your crease brush and blend it out. So at this moment we just focus on the pigmentation and applying it to the areas we want it. So after you put in that purple eyeshadow, we then go back with our other brush and we just kind of blend that into the orange shade, just to soften it up. You can either just do little soft brush motions, or you can do little circular motions. And we just soften that up. And if you do lose any pigment, just go back in and put some more of the purple in and then blend this out again. We're then going to go in with our Peach BYS palette, which is only $14 from Kmart. And I'm going to go in with this shade here. And I find going in with this shade on my finger, I get the most pigment out of it. So I'm going to put this into the lid and inner corner. And then as I do that, I like to press it right in so that you get a little bit on your bottom lash as well. And I just find using my finger is the best way to get the most pigment. And then once you're happy with how much you've got on the lid and in the corner, I then get the next finger and I just blend it in softly to the next shade. And then I just repeat the same on the other eye. It's just amazing how you can find so many awesome shades of eyeshadows for cheap. You know, if you just do a little bit of looking around and research, it just shows you don't always have to pay for the high end, especially if you are on a budget. You know, there's plenty of nice drugstore versions out there. I like to go all out with my makeup, so I usually just do it as thick as I want. I usually like to do it thicker on the outside and then just like kind of slightly thinner on the inner corner. And you just keep going over that until you're happy with the pigment. Once we've done that, I'm then going to go back in with that orange shade and this brush that we did the purple crease with. We're going to go in with the orange and we're going to blend out that purple. And then you can bring it right up to that outer crease. And just make sure when you're doing it that you're using a really light hand, because you don't want to overtake the other pigments. You just kind of want to layer them. Alright, so then when you're happy with how blended these are, we'll then move on to mascara. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on my top mascara for now, because I don't really have the best eyelashes, so I am going to be applying false lashes today. Alright, so when you put on the desired amount of mascara, we'll then move on to falsies. So I'm just going to repeat this on the other eye and I'll be back. So I've applied my upper lid mascara and now I'm going to go in with some false lashes. I just get these from Daiso, I think it's called, a Japanese store again in Robina. I find these ones really good because I find a lot of lashes are very heavy and these ones probably feel the most natural that I've found. So I'm just going to put these ones on. Alright, so then I just use the best lash glue that I've found for myself is from Dollface Lash, and I just use the white clear one. They have a black one as well. I find that it doesn't stick as well as the white one. So then you just get your tweezers. Make sure there's nothing stuck on your tweezers. Like this, just in some tweezers. You can get lash tweezers as well. And I'll show you how much is on here. You need to make sure you put enough on, because if you don't have enough it won't stick, and then vice versa, if you have too much it's just going to kind of drip down and not really be great. Alright, so as you can see I've got that kind of amount on. So you just wait until that dries a little bit transparency, so about 20 seconds. You can blow on them or you can just wave them around. Alright, so now we're going to apply it to the eye. So the best thing to do is to kind of tilt your head back, lift your brows up, and then push it down in the middle as close as you can to the lash line, and then you do the inner corner and then the outer corner, and then you just keep going back and forth through it all until you're happy with that, and then pinch it together with your natural lashes. And if you want them sticking up a bit more as they're drying, just push it up as you're pinching it in. And then we'll just repeat the same to the other eye. And here you go, so that's how that looks. And I'm going to be using this BYS Festival Colour Lash Mascara in purple. And I thought it'd be a bit of fun today. So I'm going to use that for my lower lash line. If you do want it to show up a bit more obvious than that, what you can do is you can put your black mascara on first and then just put a bit of the purple over the top. So I'm just going to use my lip liner to outline my lips, and then I'm going to fill them in as well. I like to go a little outline with my lip liner. This lip liner is usually a lot more pigmented, but because I put that lip tint on, kind of has kind of taken some of the pigmentation away, which is alright. But if you do want it to be more of a matte, stronger looking lip, just dry your lips before putting anything on it. Then we're going to go in with an OXX or Ox Cosmetic lipstick in the colour Cadillac. Alright guys, we are all done. So this is the finished look. I hope that you've learned something today, and if not, then I hope that you just enjoyed watching me. Yeah, leave a like, comment. Please check out Paul's YouTube channel if you want to have some cool recipes. And yeah, I finally filmed after everyone asking me for so long. So I hope it's alright, and hopefully I'll catch you on another one. See you guys!